Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, does not cost anything. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I'm merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. 9 of Swords. This is a difficult card. Now, don't freak out. It's going to be okay, I promise. All right. This card is at the very core. It's a realization of where we do not want to be. So if we're having a 9 of Swords moment, let's say, of panic, of despair, this feeling of misery. This is a card that says we're not sleeping very well at night. I think this is a realization. I think something is waking us up and making us feel like, hey, this is not my path, or this is not what I want to be doing anymore, or this is not my purpose, or things aren't going the way I want them to be going. See, the alternative to that is that we are coasting along very nicely, comfortably, safely, in somebody else's life, or on a life that really isn't meant for us, but it's comfortable. We've convinced ourselves, or the world has convinced us, that things are fine, that we're okay, that this is what we're meant to be doing, But this is the realization that says, you know what, I don't like what I'm doing. I don't like where I am, and I want to make progress. I want to do something better. I want to do something new, something different. I want something to change. So this is really a blessing in disguise, okay? This feeling, this waking up in the middle of the night, I can't sleep, why? Something's bugging you. If you wake up in the middle of the night, there's a reason. Maybe you got to use the bathroom. Maybe you got the acid reflux. These are my problems. Or you have that realization that something is nagging at my soul that I've got to make a change. This card is a blessing. Yeah. Let's see what's going on here. There's the 6 of Wands, right? Now we believe that we can change something. We have the confidence. We have a Queen of Pentacles. We've got the Emperor. We've got the 7 of Swords. Okay, well, that's 7 of Swords ain't bad either, okay? It's definitely improvement from a 9 of Swords, right? And 3 of Swords, well, I think that's an improvement too. But that's also a bit of a caution sign in front of you. Okay, that basically says don't go back to what you were doing before. Maybe the Emperor back here is in some degree representing a life that was sort of dictated by somebody else. I feel like you've realized that you're not happy being under the rule of some Emperor energy in your life. And so we're learning that we have to put this behind us, and we have to move forward into uncertainty. We have to face our fear, right? We have to take accountability for our own life. And maybe at the same time, now this can also be true, that we're looking back at the Emperor and thinking that was a period of time where I felt like I had more control over my own life. So the Emperor, every card has light and shadow, okay? And we can look at the Emperor both ways. This is representing the power from under which you're trying to get out, right? Or this represents, again, at the same time, the power, the self-control, the power, the autonomy, the sovereignty, the authority over our own lives that we're trying to then get back. Okay. I like this. I think this is really, really strong energy. A lot of air energy, of course. Path of the Serpent, what do we have? 2 of Pentacles, making changes. We're making changes. 5, another Swords card, 5 of Swords. The 7 of Cups. And there's the Ace of Pentacles. Very interesting cards we have here today. Challenge, I'm not going to lie to you. There's challenge. Okay, but it's the challenge that kind of comes with a sense of satisfaction, knowing that this is the challenge of my life, my path, my direction. I think you have no idea how happy you're going to be if you go through this period and you do this, because the alternative is that we sort of just accept the swampy Seven of Cups and we just pretend that it's okay. Okay, we sort of dress this up nicely and we say, I like it. Underneath, it's rotten, it's toxic, we don't like the feeling. Okay, now this doesn't mean you have to leave your relationship, it doesn't mean that you have to leave your job, it means that there's something in your life, there's a sense of not being on your path. Okay, and in some ways it maybe means that you realize that what you're doing, your very particular thing that you're doing, a job, a relationship, a friendship, some kind of extracurricular thing, whatever it might be, but something specific. You might be thinking that, I thought that was my purpose, but now it doesn't feel like it anymore, and I don't know what to do, and now that's causing me some weird feelings inside, because I thought that was my purpose, right? And so maybe we're trying to be way too specific. My purpose is to be a YouTube tarot reader. Well, what if this doesn't work out? What if I begin to really not like doing this? What if you all don't like me anymore, right? And then there's this conflict in me that says, I thought this was my purpose, but why isn't it going well? Why is it not working out? Why don't I feel connected to it? Why don't I like it anymore? Why am I not resonating with people? Why do I not want to be? Now, I'm not saying I feel this way, okay? But what I'm trying to point out is that your purpose in life is not the specific thing that you're doing. I don't think my purpose in life on the big marquee is YouTube tarot reader. I think maybe it's connecting with people. I think maybe it is trying to share what I've learned on the path with other people so that I can continue to grow and evolve as a being, and at the same time have some sort of positive ripple effect out in the universe. Which is probably why I was an EMT for a little while. I wanted to connect with people. I still do. I love it. That's my favorite part of this work, right, is the connection. Okay. So it's not the specific thing. It's kind of a more generalized sense of purpose, a more generalized mission in life, that we may be seriously hamstringing ourselves by thinking it was just this one thing. It was just, I thought I was a writer of children's stories. Well, that's not working out. I don't like it. I'm not good at it. There's no connection there anymore. So now I'm lost. Well, maybe that's not your purpose necessarily. Maybe your bigger purpose is writing or sharing information. Maybe it has something to do with, with caring for children or pets, plants, people, I think really it all boils down to connection, right? How we are feeling the most appropriate sense of connection and how to foster our connection with the universe at large. Okay, but anyway, I'm digressing a little bit. Let's look at the cards first. A mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right here with Alien Simon Mork Ripley. And now we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. Okay. If you have a prediction for that card, put it in the comments. Okay. There is a value in the despair of the Nine of Swords. Okay. Now, as we're looking around the room, the only major we see is the Emperor. So the Emperor is going to be a central focus here. Okay. We got a little bit of fire right here in the middle. That's what we need right now, that confidence. So we've got major, we've got a little fire, we've got a little water, we've got air, 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 and we've got our 3 earth cards. Okay. So there is a value in despair because it's telling us what is not our path. that whatever I'm doing now is not part of my purpose. Maybe it's not your path, right? Maybe it's somebody else's. Maybe we realize that the choices that we've made, back to that emperor, right? The choices that we've made have been too heavily influenced by other people, other ideas, or what we thought was meant for us, what our childhood convinced us was our story, is what we were meant to do, patterns that we're repeating, our certain values and beliefs, right, that might be very much molded by our environment, the world around us, and not a choice, not a path, or maybe a vocation or a career choice or a relationship choice or any kind of choice in life. Not firmly grounded in spirit, in that deep feeling and the deep rational mind, and that deep kind of gut feeling, intuition kind of feeling. When those three things can combine, I think we're making the right choices. It could be here that we made an intellectual choice that we thought was going to bring us the best thing, or was going to be the right path for us, logically, right? But maybe your heart and maybe your spirit are kind of now saying, no, don't. It's not it. I don't care what the mind says, right? We have an overwhelming air energy in the reading. Overwhelming air energy. Because I feel like the mind is now realizing that, oh, wow, the intuition and the heart don't really want this anymore. But the mind, it may be trying to force ourselves to stay on the path that we are currently on. When the heart and the intuition, let's say the spiritual energy and your deepest feelings are kind of, trying to speak up and make their voices heard, but the mind is getting louder and saying, no. But I think there is a realization. And with the Six of Wands comes this feeling like, okay, nothing's going to change unless I change it. And I can connect with the right people, places, things, and I can adjust my course. It may not be about leaving anything behind. We may not be quitting anything necessarily. We may instead be adding on something that is going to bring us more of that sense of purpose. Or we're going to find a way to align what we're currently doing with our sense of purpose. We got to find the connection there. Okay? The mind has to be willing to connect with the heart and the intuition. And the Six of Wands is our belief in ourselves, our confidence that we can do that. That we can succeed, that, hey, I'm happy that I see a challenge. I see the value of despair because it lets me know what I've got to do. And I believe that I can accomplish what it is that I need to do. The Six is victory after a fight. And of course, the Five of Swords over here is basically that fight, right? We're going to go from the 5 to the 6. Okay? The 5 to the 6. And the Queen of Pentacles underneath everything is, it's a functional knowledge. It's saying, okay, I've learned from the past. I've learned from what I've been doing. Nothing is wasted. No experience is wasted. And even if we feel like, I wasted so much time, being in this job that really wasn't meant for me, or that I'm not connected with, when I knew deep down that my calling was somewhere else, so I wasted all this time. It wasn't wasted. We need to stop thinking that way. It will be wasted if you don't learn anything from it. It will be wasted if you don't look at it, recognize it, and say, okay, the one thing I learned is that ain't for me. Maybe other things you learned, new skills, maybe you networked with some people, you got a deeper sense of who you are and a deeper understanding of your own psychology, your own patterns, your own history and habits, your own tendencies, your own karma. Like, there's a lot of wisdom to come out of what we may just chalk up as, I've wasted a bunch of time. That was a waste of time. We need to get out of that mindset. We need to stop thinking like that. We don't want to waste time going in the future, no. But things that have already happened, let's embrace them. Let's say, okay, it wasn't a waste of time. It was a lesson. I was in school, Whatever that relationship was, or that job, or that friendship, or that situation, it wasn't a waste of time. It was school, okay? And that's what the Queen of Pentacles is about, learning from the past. so that we can apply it to the future and so that nothing is wasted. Okay? And the Queen is looking at that past, looking at this Emperor energy. And it may be a situation where we sort of, we gave up our own autonomous control over our lives, and we let ourselves be, or we let our lives, or we let our path be sort of controlled by someone else. We let somebody else perhaps be the pilot of the ship. The captain of our own soul. It should be us. Okay? So I feel like we're feeling that intuition, like, no, you know what? I got to take more charge over what I'm doing in life and how I spend my time. I can't blame anybody else. I can't say, well, because I have these commitments, I can't do the things that I really need to do, the things that my soul is pulling me toward. I can't do them. I'm too busy. Right? We have to take control, and we have to assume accountability for where we are in life. We're not going to blame anybody else. But part of this responsibility and this accountability is knowing what we've got to move away from. Because remember, this is in the rearview mirror now. Okay? This is in the rearview mirror. I wonder if there is, if the Emperor energy represents an actual person for you. And I don't know if there was maybe some kind of a breakup, if there was some kind of a loss of this person. Because then the Three of Swords is kind of looking back and wishing we can go back to that person. And whether this is a family member or it could be a father figure, it could be a lover or something like this, and that maybe there's been a breakup or some kind of a separation. Yeah, we can't go back to this. This may be also the feeling that we want to go back. We want to go back to a time where things were more predictable, where things were more laid out in front of us in a way that we didn't have to worry about choice. We didn't have to worry about what we were doing and why and how and at what time. It was all sort of arranged for us, There is part of us that I think craves a life where we don't have to be in control. Like when you're a kid, it's just kind of like, you can have fun as a kid because you know that whoever's raising your guardians are going to tell you when it's time to eat, tell you when it's time to go to school, tell you when it's time to go to bed. It gives you freedom to kind of do whatever you want and get lost in your experience, get lost in the moment. It's very difficult for us as adults to do that now, to get lost in the moment. Because we have to be responsible for what we're doing, where we're going. We can set maybe a timer on your phone or something and say, okay, I can just get lost in doing what I'm doing now. And I know that I'm not wearing my watch, but, your alarm will go off when it's time for you to move on to the next task, But that really doesn't quite absolve us of the responsibility, So this might not be a person for all of you. I think it could be something that we're sort of wishing that we could go back to. But that Nine of Swords, it's kind of like we're waking up from something that, and we can't go back to sleep. Okay, we can't go back to sleep. Maybe this was a situation where you worked for someone else, but now you've got your own business. And it's kind of like this is the despair of realizing what we've gotten ourselves into and how we need to take responsibility for that. The Seven of Swords at the top. This is usually a card of distraction. Usually it's a card that says, I'm on this straight and narrow path, that Ace of Swords right in the middle. I'm on that straight and narrow path, and nothing is going to interfere with that. I won't be distracted by all of these other pathways, side quests, distractions, that I'm not gonna be thrown off course by that. But because this is at the very top of your path, I kind of feel like this is a lot of pathways that suddenly you're realizing that, wow, there's a lot of different things out there. Maybe the Nine of Swords is the realization, or the apparent realization that I got myself into something and now I'm stuck, right? But then we have the Seven of Swords that's saying, look, there are a lot of other doors. It's kind of like all we see is this one hallway going forward. But when the light turns on, We see that, oh, there's a lot of other hallways with a lot of other doors. So maybe this sense of purpose, we had the assumption that it was just this one thing. It was just YouTube tarot reader. That's the only path. So then what happens when that path kind of dries out, you know? What happens when we start to get maybe overwhelmed by it or underwhelmed by it? Yeah. Then we think, well, I've got to push on. I just got to continue. What if your soul is screaming at you and your heart is screaming at you that this isn't the thing anymore? Maybe it was at one point. We have to realize that there are other ways for you to fulfill your purpose in life. Maybe you have a very strong sense of purpose, but there's something nagging you in your gut. It's your heart and your intuition that are trying to tell you that what you've been doing, trying to be disciplined and sticking to the path, trying to stay as committed and as loyal and as faithful to that path as possible, is limiting you from other ways that you could be expressing and giving your gift to the world and living your purpose. The purpose doesn't have to be just one exact behavior or action or vocation or hobby or job or career or relationship. We've got to simplify. And in that sense, I like what we're doing here with the 9, the 7, the 5, the 3. We're thinking all of these swords cards are odd numbers. Right? Pretty sure, yeah. 9, 7, 5, and 3. The odd numbers are active thought. The even numbers are states of mind. Okay? So the odd numbers are thinking. We're thinking about stuff. This is we're thinking too much. This is we're thinking a little bit less. I'm realizing that there are some other pathways, other things that I could be doing. This is where we're starting to really go down some of these other pathways in our mind and thinking, yeah, maybe these are the right things. By the time we get to the 3, it's kind of like we're realizing that the only way forward is down this dark, scary hallway. The only way to go forward is to confront our fears. We can't go back to the safe, predictable path that we were on. So what we're sort of doing is we're narrowing down things a little bit. Okay, from a 9, 7, 5 down to the 3, maybe the mystery card will be the ace. That will be just spectacular. Because I feel like while our options are opening up in front of us, we're realizing that, hey, okay, my purpose can involve a lot of different things, right? A lot of different activities and connections and a lot of different maybe career choices, a lot of experimentation. It really is a wide field. A lot of options out here now. The realization of the many is helping us calm our mind down, helping the mind sort of get out of this overthinking, panicking kind of 9 of swords and get to a simplicity that says, oh, okay, I can calm down. I realize what my purpose is, and my purpose can be down this pathway and any of these other pathways. Okay? And that's sort of where we are with the 7 of swords. Seeing that there are other avenues here. Okay? The 3 of swords, like I said, in the future position. We're realizing we cannot go back to the past. We can't go back to a period of either being next to this energy where decisions are made for us, where life is easier because we don't have to be accountable, we don't have to make decisions. Okay? This, let's say, is you working for somebody else. Well, now we can't go back there. Because now you're working for yourself. Now you're in the business of being the captain of your own soul. Maybe this is literally a business. And we're sort of panicking because now it's like, I'm locked into this business. Yeah, but you have a lot of room for creativity here. There's a lot of different things that you're able to do. And really, the more you experiment, the more you're going to find kind of that one thing that's really going to matter and really going to do it for you right now. And we'll follow that path and see what leads. See where that leads. Okay? So the 3 of swords is realizing that we have to face the unknown. It's a fear of the future. It's a fear of the unpredictability. It's a fear of kind of not having anyone to sort of tell us what to do, but our own soul, right? Because this represents the intuition. At the same time, it represents, I think a fact that was in your life, an actual kind of authority, right, or control, or an ability to make decisions. And this is also a lot of discipline here. Okay, so I feel like this was you sort of committing to this one thing and then feeling like, what did I get myself into? Now, realizing that we don't have to limit ourselves, that we can explore some of these other pathways, that any one of these, and see, all these swords are sort of flowing kind of in the same direction, right? I know this sword's pointing up, these swords are kind of pointing down into you. And this card represents a lot of things. But what I see it as now is, instead of just feeling like there's one path forward for you and that's it, we're kind of feeling like there's branches that they all sort of go this way. They're all basically in the same direction. But there's a lot of different things we can do. We can have variety. So it's not just YouTube tarot reader. It's a lot of other things, right? And I could go down any number of these paths. They're all basically the same life's purpose. And so what we're trying to do is ask ourselves, what does that mean? So we need to be able to simplify. We need to be able to take all of these options and kind of say, what do they all have in common? What does that say about my actual purpose in life? Don't be specific here. This is where we're trying to be as general as possible. Helping people. All right, that's my purpose. There are a million ways to do that, Working with animals, there are a million ways to do that. Maybe it's plants. Maybe there's a million ways to do that. Okay. Maybe it's art or music or performance or something like this. There's a million ways to do art. There are a million ways to be performative, And so we have to face the unknown. We have to sort of go in one of these other directions and explore a different way of expressing that purpose. See? Now, Path of the Serpent, let's talk about this. You are making changes. Okay? 2 of Pentacles. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is free. The 2 of Pentacles is saying we're making changes here. That 9 of Swords, the value of that despair is that we know what needs to change. We know what things we need to get rid of in life, and we know what fears to face and what dark pathways to go down to see if that's where some fulfillment is for us, to see if that's going to be part of what my mission is in life. The mission is to connect with people. All right, I'm going to do that YouTube tarot channel. Okay. I could do that through other things too, private readings. I could do that through, volunteering places or... I don't know. There's a lot of different. This is what I'm doing now, right? And I don't see myself doing anything else. But if the time comes, I realize that I have to be in this boat too. We all do. This isn't just for Sagittarius. This is for everybody. We have to realize what boat we're in and how we can change course. We can sort of make these little micro adjustments. We don't have to do the same thing for the rest of our lives because that's my purpose. Well, that purpose should be as general as possible so that we can shift into different things. Maybe your purpose, if it is, let's say, helping people or being of service or something like, there are a lot of ways to do that. And so the 2 of Pentacles is saying, how do I need to shift gears a little bit to sort of move into the next chapter of this, the next expression of that purpose of, helping people. Very general statement. What can I do now so I can get more expression for that? I can find new ways to manifest that purpose. Okay, all this has to be grounded in action. It's one thing to just sit there and think about it and to stay up at night worrying about this, head in your hands. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? We have this sort of growing realization, right? With the 9, the 7, 5, the 3, hopefully the ace. So I think you're realizing what you need to do, and it's all about action. It's all about the change of behavior. If we have all of the Swords energy, but we don't do anything in the physical world, we don't explore a new hobby, a new vocation, a new path, volunteer somewhere else, start a different business, change some things about the current business, add some new products, get rid of some old stuff. Right? Stop doing some things that really we don't care about anymore and start doing some things we do care about. If we don't make those actual changes, nothing's going to change. That Nine of Swords is going to become worse and worse and worse. And then we're not using it properly. Okay? We've got to use it properly by allowing the Nine of Swords to stimulate some change. Believing that we can do it. Wrong card. Believing that's still the wrong card. Believing that we can do it. But that's where we are with the general energy. Knowing things need to change is one thing. Knowing what needs to change and having the courage to go forward in that, it's going to be an unknown direction. If it was known, then you kind of already would have done it, and you don't have to do it again, right? So the Three of Swords is necessarily a dark pathway. It's a scary pathway because it's unknown. It's not something you've done before. We're not going to repeat the same things because, well, we've done it and it either worked for a time, now it doesn't work anymore. We maybe could revisit it and see if it works again, but it's not likely. Okay? And at the same time, we do want to revisit the Emperor and remind ourselves that we have the power to direct our life. We have self-control. We're the captain of our own soul here. Okay? And I think that if we can reconnect with this sense of control, sense of autonomy, and listening to the intuition, then that immediately gives us a sense of, I think a sense of well-being, right? Because we realize, especially with these two, realize, okay, I'm capable of controlling my life. I'm capable of change. That's all we got here. I'm capable of change. And I feel better when I can reconnect with my sense of power, because now I know that regardless of what happens in life, I have the power to change. Yeah, and so this is what we're doing here. So that's why we've got fire to earth. We're making changes. Of course, the Five of Swords in the environment, in your relationships, this is going to be a lot of experimentation. This is going to be kind of still stressed in the mind. Still, this is movement of the mind. This is an active thought that we're trying to figure out the path. We're trying to figure out how to do what we sort of want to do. We're still trying to simplify. We're still searching for answers. Okay? And we're looking out into the world for other ideas. You're researching. You're exploring. You're experimenting. You're talking to other people. You're looking up on Google. You're watching YouTube videos, trying to find out, well, what are some other ways that I could do this? What are some other ideas? What are other people doing that maybe I can kind of say, oh, wait, yeah, you know what? That might be a good thing for me to try to fulfill my purpose. You're Googling 1,000 ways to help people. And you're looking through that list and you're thinking, okay, a lot of those I've done already. Maybe this one here, that's what I'm currently doing. But look, there's 990 other things that we can try. So we're sifting through, we're finding ones that are the most practical, we're narrowing it down, maybe we're finding one or two or three that we say, yeah, that feels like, I feel a resonance with that. Like you kind of feel your heart and your soul saying, yeah, that seems like a good one. Pick out a couple, do a little more research, do a deeper dive on it. Maybe go try it out for a day or two. See how we like it, see if it really fits with us. And it doesn't have to be a career change. It doesn't have to be a change of, like breaking up with your spouse or something, right? This is about, I think, adding on something that's going to give you a very satisfying feeling because you're expressing that part of your purpose. We're augmenting our life a little bit here. Okay, I do think that there are things that have to be discarded as well, things that have kind of run their course. Yeah. The Seven of Cups is really, it looks like that's how your heart feels right now. Okay, we got your intuition back here. That is sort of needs to be reactivated. The sense of self-control, the sense of directing your own ship, being the captain of your own soul here. This is, I think, how your soul feels right now. And this is, of course, Seven of Cups. This is a really, this is an uneasy, queasy kind of feeling. Something just ain't right about this. But what we usually see is very beautiful water. You know, oh, this looks like delicious, fresh spring water. It's not. It's toxic. And the more we avoid this, see, this is in the position of what we don't want. We don't want to look at that because we don't want that in our life. Nobody wants to drink that water. I wouldn't drink it. You at least need a filter or something, right? This is that kind of water when you're in a survival situation that, your guide or whatever is going to tell you. You watch it on the TV, right? They say, don't drink that water. This is like stagnant water. There's disease in there. There's mosquitoes. It's nasty. Don't drink it. So we don't want this in our lives, obviously, right? We want fresh water. We want a feeling we want a pleasant feeling inside of us. We want a resonance. We want to feel the flow. We want to feel that we're in harmony. In harmony with our mind, in harmony with our intuition. The heart doesn't feel right. Something doesn't sit well about this, about the current state of things. Well, obviously, you're in this Nine of Swords. You can bet you're going to feel the Seven of Cups. We have to be willing to look at this. And if we're looking at this and we're seeing just the shiny, wonderful, clear, pure, sparkling water, that's an illusion. We're ignoring the truth here. So let's not cover up how we feel. Okay, and sometimes we do that if we think, well, this is my path. I'm supposed to be doing this work, this very specific job. I'm supposed to be doing this. So if I'm feeling a Seven of Cups, there must be something wrong with me. So I'm just going to cover this up and I'm just going to pretend that this is fine. Because this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I should feel good about it. I should feel the harmony and the flow. Why don't I? Well, we go from a 5 to the 6, right? 6 is the harmony, the resonance. The 7 is when something has spoiled. Something has sat in the fridge too long. It's not good to eat anymore. The water is stagnant. It's not that good, resonant, flowing, harmonious water, spring water. Now it's been just sitting there. And it's not fit to drink. So what it tells me is that we're realizing that we've been doing the same thing for too long, and we need to sort of find a way to reconnect with our sense of purpose, to shift gears just enough to feel like, okay, now I'm sort of back in the main track of my purpose here. Because maybe the thing that you've been doing for so long is kind of, well, like I said, it's stagnating. So it's not that we need to really discard it necessarily. Maybe we just need to filter it a little bit. Get rid of the impurities and get it back to a state where, okay, now I feel like the purpose is flowing here. Does that make sense? And that, I think, is our Ace of Pentacles. It either is something new that you're adding, okay, or it is a way that we are filtering this water, that we are getting rid of some of the things we don't like about it, and we're bringing in some new, fresh ideas, some new behaviors, new actions that are going to really make us feel like we're back in line with our purpose, that we're back in harmony with our purpose, and we're finding new and novel ways of expressing that purpose, right? Your purpose is to help people. Well, then whatever you're doing now, find a new way to help people in that general direction. And it may be that, okay, well, maybe I just need to get out of the office more. Maybe I need to, if I'm running a foundation or a charity or something, maybe it's just like, I've just been in here doing the paperwork, and that's not doing it for me anymore. So now I want somebody else to do the paperwork. I want to be out there on the street actually doing something. I want to get outside and I want to express myself that way. It doesn't mean you have to quit your job. It means that we need some sort of novel idea. We need some sort of little change, a micro change, right? That's going to reignite that sense of purpose. Your purpose isn't to do paperwork, Your purpose isn't to be the office manager necessarily. Maybe being an office manager is part of this larger purpose of helping people. But maybe you want something that's a little more hands-on now, a little more direct realization that I am helping people. Okay, I'm making a difference here. When you're in an office doing the paperwork, maybe you start to lose sight of that. You start to think like, am I really helping people? Like, what am I doing? This isn't helping people, You're looking for something that's more direct, more hands-on. Yeah. Anyway, mystery card. It's going to be the Empress or the Ace of Swords. If you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. Let's see what we have. Well, it's a Six of Swords, and you know what? This is the first kind of harmony that we have, right? That's what we've been missing, right? We've been 9. We've been 7, 5, 3. The Six of Wands and the Six of Swords. There is this harmony of the mind now, and that's what I said at the beginning, that the mind is sort of like scrambling because it's in this despair, and it doesn't know how to solve the problem, and the mind is just like, we're freaking out, we're losing sleep, we're panicking, we're worried, we're stewing about it all the time, we're awake in the middle of the night, just like, what is going on? Why do I feel this way? What am I going to do? Well, now we've got that Six of Swords, which is, for one thing, it's a plan. Okay, but for another thing, it's a mind that feels like it's in harmony with the world. Now the mind is in harmony with the soul, the spirit, with the heart, and with the intuition. Okay, and we're traveling in that new direction, being propelled by our will, the fire energy, riding on that wonderful water. The water is flowing, and we're flowing on with it. Right, the swords are still on the boat. We still have all of our ideas. We still have all of our worries, but they're not driving the boat. Okay? They're not controlling the ship. Now we're back in control. And we're saying, you know what? If I'm not satisfied, if I don't feel like what I'm doing right now, literally like what I'm doing every day, if I don't feel that that is really like connected with my purpose, I have the power to just shift off to the side a little bit and make it better. To change, not these big, huge tower events, micro changes. Micro changes, okay? In any aspect of your life, this doesn't have to be your career. What if this is in your family life? What if this is in your personal health, your finances, your creative life? Maybe you're retired. Maybe this is all about the garden, or the library. But the idea here is that the mind is in harmony with the rest of you. You're not just your thoughts, Your thoughts now are resonating with your heart and your intuition, and we've got a plan. And having that, of course, we need to execute the plan. It does not matter unless it reaches the level of earth and that's how we get this. It's only by doing that's why we've got the earth energy at the end, and then we get more air energy. You're going to be in this constant despair until that step is taken. Once you take that step, the harmony, the mental harmony and beauty of the plan will emerge, and this is going to be better. You're going to feel, you have no idea how happy you'll be. Okay, if you do this. I believe that. And I think the Six of Swords is a really strong confirmation. Now, we're going to do an I Ching reading. We're going to do some oracle cards in the extended reading. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Sagittarius, Wednesday and Sunday. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free, doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.